What's up everybody, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about running shoes. Probably the most important part of our hobby, but far from the simplest. Now if you find yourself asking more questions than you have answers to, then hopefully this video will help. I'll try to break down most aspects of the shoes we have on the market today, so hopefully you'll come out at the end of this video with more knowledge and can make your next purchase knowing that you're getting the shoe that's best for you. One thing I want to say before we get started is that all the shoes I'm going to be talking about and showing you today, I paid for 100% with my own money. This video is not sponsored in any way by any company, and I endorse a whole gamut of shoes. I'm not going to say one specific brand or one specific model is best for you. I'm going to go over some general terms that you will see used to describe certain aspects of a shoe. I'm going to need something to show you with, so I think this is how you do it. Oh, worked a charm. This is the New Balance More version 4, a brand new shoes, hence why it's still so clean. I'll go on to talk a little bit more about this category of shoe later on, but it is a perfect glamorous model for me to use to point out some specific areas. Now the first element you generally see is stack height and drop. This is really straightforward. The stack height is the thickness of the foam measured here in the back of the shoe in the heel, and the drop is the difference in stack height between the heel and foam here. There's no one rule fits all for stack height. Each shoe is different. Next is outsole. Outsole is the rubber here on the bottom that is the main point of contact between the shoe and the road. Midsole is the foam itself used to make up the squidgy part that is the stack and the drop. You have the upper. They can be terms like engineered mesh or knits. They all have different meanings, and it just describes the manufacturing process and how they're made. The next term will be terrain. All shoes I'll be talking about today are road shoes, but you do also get trail running shoes and track running spikes. I don't use any of those, so I won't be talking about this. Will just be road running shoes. And the last thing I'm going to mention is a running shoe rotation, what it is and whether it will be beneficial for you or not. Now, without further ado, let's get into the first category. Like the New Balance More version 4 here, the Nike Invincible series, On, Cloud Eclipse and the Saucony Triumph. Max cushion shoes are generally, but not always, higher stack heights, but they usually always do have the softest foams. These are great, especially for heavier and larger runners. The soft foam helps cushion yourself and absorb some of the impact between you and the road, and they are well suited for very slow, easy paced efforts, which for me make up about 80% of my training, as well as longer runs at easier efforts as well. Nothing can make a long run feel even longer than a very hard shoe. Now they're generally around about £150 if you're buying the newest models, but you sometimes can get prices a little bit lower if you're looking for last year's models. And depending on the runner and the conditions in which you're running in, you can expect to get about 300 to 500 miles out of a pair of shoes like this. Of course, your mileage may vary, and for me, for my previous pair of these, I'm looking about 500 kilometers so far, and they are still going strong. These are just ready, waiting in the wings. Now, next up, the Daily Trainer. Shoes like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 here are the workhorse of a running shoe rotation. They can do runs much like a max cushion shoe, slow, easy paced runs, longer runs, but can also be a little bit livelier, and like the Endorphin Speed 3 here, sometimes come with a plate. This here is a nylon plate that provides a little bit more pep in your step, so to speak, a little bit more of a livelier run. These, like the max cushion shoes, can be anywhere around about £150, less or more, depending on the model and the year that you're getting. And similar to the max cushion shoes, can get anywhere between 300 and 500 miles. But of course, again, your mileage may vary. For me, my first pair of Endorphin Speed 3s are still going strong at 450 kilometers. These are just patiently waiting in the wings, much like the More V4s from earlier. Next up, carbon plated shoes. Now there are two further subcategories nowadays to carbon plated shoes. This year the New Balance SC Trainer 2 is what's generally referred to as a super trainer. The carbon plate here at the bottom, much like the nylon plate in the Endorphin Speed 3, is to provide rigidity and a superior amount of flex and pop that allows you to propel forward into your stride, giving you a little extra energy and, in theory, a little extra pace. Like the Max Cushion shoes as well, they generally have higher stack heights and softer foam. So this is almost a combination between the Max Cushion shoe of the New Balance More V4 and the Daily Trainer like the Endorphin Speed 3. Now super trainers like this might not be as durable as your Daily Trainers or your Max Cushion shoes from before, but this version of mine are 400 kilometers in and I'm now only just starting to feel a little bit more deadness in the foam. So maybe another couple of 100 kilometers, but they are still doing me well. These are great for long runs, sometimes with marathon pace or half marathon pace effort, and sometimes easy paced efforts as well. If I'm looking for something that will be a little bit more forgiving in the long run, this will be the shoe that I reach for. But with that comes a premium. Brand new, this costs £210, and shoes like this can be anywhere north of £200. Now this shoe blurs a line between the super trainer like this and the race day shoe like this. The New Balance SC Elite version 3. Now shoes like this are for when all of your miles training culminate in that marathon, half marathon, 10k race day, and you want to give yourself the best chance at snagging yourself a PB or personal best. Shoes like this, super light shoes, very breathable uppers, maximum cushioned stacks, very soft foam, and a carbon fiber plate on the inside. These are wonderful and horrible at the same time. This shoe cost me £220 and shoes like this are expensive. So what's next? We've gone over all of these shoes, but what do you do with them? Do you buy more than one pair? Do you only need one pair? This is what we call a running shoe rotation. Now there's a few pros and cons. Pros, in between runs if you're using a different shoe, it allows the foam to recover, to dry out, to ensure that each time you use that shoe, you're getting the best out of it. You're also able to have a specific type of shoe tailored for a specific type of run. If you're going for a workout or a 5k PB, something like the Daily Trainer, much more suited than something a little bit softer with a little less energy return. Additionally, and there might not necessarily be science behind this, but I believe at least that the different models of shoe allow you to strengthen your legs and your foot muscles in different ways, which will help you become a stronger and faster runner. And the last small pro is that it's fun to have different coloured shoes, match different outfits. I'm a sucker for colourful shoes, as you can probably tell. Now, a few cons. Of course, having more than one shoe, and with that, the cost goes up. Additionally, trying to figure out what shoe to buy to add to your rotation can lead to buyer's remorse or a little bit of anxiety of figuring out what shoe is best for you. And one last con, if you're going away for holiday, trying to figure out what style of shoe you need for the runs that you're going to be doing. I experience this quite a lot when I travel for work, but all the pros outweigh the cons for me, and I feel that for me and the style of running that I do, having a running shoe rotation works best. Now personally, my mantra for building out a rotation consists of 3, maybe pushing to 4 shoes, and I've gone over these today. You'll have your max cushioned shoe like the New Balance More version 4. Paired that with a Daily Trainer like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. Then for me, I think the third shoe to build out that rotation would actually be a race day shoe. This means that all the training and all the miles that I've put in over the months previously can be utilised and maximised to their full extent with a shoe that allows me to perform at my best. Now the fourth style of shoe, of course, is the Super Trainer. There's a lot of crossover between that shoe, the New Balance More V4, as well as the Endorphin Speed 3, that it doesn't allow itself to have its own individual category. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching through to the end, and let me know down below in the comments what shoes you use in your running shoe rotation, or what is the only shoe that you use. I can't wait to see what you guys enjoy running in. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!